Good morning, everybody. I am Derek Espiritu. I'm super excited to be here at SAINTCON. Just a fun fact about me, I might be checking my phone a little bit. My wife is about 2 weeks away from her due date, and I'm on red alert, yeah. Thank you, appreciate it. I told SAINTCON, hey, I want to speak, but you have to put me at the beginning, you have to put me at a time where I can just bolt off right after. So I'm super excited, but second child, the first one was born in COVID, so this is going to be a totally different experience. More background about me, I work at a company called Labelbox. We're doing generative AI, and I'm helping build out the GRC program and the security program there. But this is, for me, and breaking into cybersecurity, I've crashed servers, I've written passwords on sticky notes, had no idea what a Linux was, and legitimately thought that MacBooks couldn't get viruses for a long time, longer than I'd like to admit. How in the world did I end up in cybersecurity? My hope is that at least there's one thing that you could take away from this when just trying to build your career and breaking into cybersecurity. This is a career hack share. I gave ChatGPT a try, and it said, cybersecurity experts, we don't just like hacks. We're the haction heroes of the digital world. I'd like to say that was ChatGPT's fault, but that was definitely user error. So prompt, it was just a bad prompt. So good try, ChatGPT, but most of these slides, what I did was when I was creating this presentation is that I don't feel like I've made it in cybersecurity, and I feel like there's a lot of people that feel the same way. So what I did instead was I asked my network, I asked cybersecurity professionals, what do you think, or what advice would you give to people that are trying to break into cybersecurity? And interestingly enough, not one of them gave me technical advice. It was all social skills, it was all building up yourself, and networking. So that's what I want to share after going more into the personal story here. So we all start somewhere. I started in college. This is me. My wife said that I didn't peak in college, but she's right. But my start, I really didn't know anything about technology. I changed majors quite often. First, like every single, let's just say that the college that I went to was very close by, and most of the guys, they try to become a dentist first. So I wanted to be I took Chem 105, botched it. It was a terrible experience, not great. So obviously the logical next choice, what I wanted to be was, I wanted to be a lawyer, obviously. But I didn't get into the major that I wanted to get into in order to remain on the track to go into law school. So I was super discouraged. I called my cousin, and he's my mentor at the time and who I looked up to, and I said, I just couldn't get into this college, man. I'm really just kind of down on myself. What should I do? And he said, have you ever heard of IT? And I said, what's IT? He said, I think you really would like it. It's a growing industry, the technology sphere. It's something that the people are awesome, and you're going to be learning a lot. That should have got me interested, and to be honest, it didn't. I really didn't start wanting to be an IT major or wanting to learn stuff until I saw something like this. How much they actually made, cybersecurity people made. So this was taken from September 11, 2023, just recently, about the average earnings of a cybersecurity major or cybersecurity professional. And this is just we're thankfully in Utah, it's a little bit higher than the national average, besides like some of the big other tech places. But yes, this got me into it, but I didn't really grow a passion for cybersecurity until I stuck with the program here. But why is cybersecurity paid so much? Honestly, cybersecurity is here to help build trust. It's constantly evolving. If you're one of the very few people that's in cybersecurity at your company, you know that there's so much that you have to be on top of. It's a business enabler. Part of my job is presenting with different companies, this is our security program. You have a problem with this vulnerability, this is our timeline to fix it. It's really just trying to make sure that they know that our company is secure. I really like interacting in that way. And 4 is extremely cross-functional. I've worked on the legal team, to the IT team, to the security team, to the compliance team, to the AppSec team, to the network team. There's so many different aspects of it. I graduated, and I wanted to show this picture because this is the guy that helped me get to graduation. Remember, I didn't know what an operating system was. I really didn't know anything about technology. This guy was patient enough to let me... The wrong word is mooch off of him, and the right word is he mentored me, but I feel like I mooched a little bit, more a lot of it. But thankfully, he's doing great as a cybersecurity professional now. But when it comes to diverse paths and what you did, I was still without a job, even having a cybersecurity major. I had no idea what I was doing. So the first hack that I'd like to share, or the career hacks, is networking. I still feel like I don't made it. I just wanted to be, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a job. I had to go by referrals from my teammates and from my classmates, basically to be able to get my first job because I didn't feel like I had the technical skills. But the first quote was from my mentor here, Josh Pugmire. People are really at the heart of all industries, and security is no different. Yes, we may have a higher number of Star Wars fanatics among us, and other technical interests, but we're still people. And to go on, he said, which people you know and are willing to get outside of your comfort zone to introduce yourself to can determine how quickly you break into cybersecurity. For me, in my career in cybersecurity, it's learning the right things and being in the right place at the right time. So quickly going over this job shadowing consulting here. I was terrified of cyber people. I don't know about anybody else in the room, but y'all are really, really smart. When I say y'all, I know that I'm a cybersecurity person now, but I didn't really think that I could talk to anybody at that level. I thought they wouldn't want to help. Thankfully, my dream job was to be at Adobe, or that's where I wanted to be after BYU, after college there. And I applied about 6 times. I just got rejected so many times. At my first job, I learned a lot of the technical skills, kept applying, didn't get into Adobe. I finally got into a spot where I said, maybe I should just job shadow someone. I knew somebody at Adobe, and they knew a friend that was in information security. I got there, job shadowed. It was awesome. I learned so many cool things and really about what they needed to do in information security. They offered me an internship position. I didn't get that. They ran out of headcount. And then I switched from that company to a consulting where I just learned all these random things, like what the heck an ISO certificate was or a SOC 2 report. I did vendor management. I did a lot of these basic things. And then I learned about this thing called the Adobe Common Control Framework, which basically is this open source framework that you can use to set up other companies to get these common controls in place. I finally applied during the pandemic to Adobe again, got the interview. I didn't think I was going to get it. But what I learned is that the entire job description was everything I'd learned at the consulting position. And then, I didn't know this while I was interviewing, but I said, hey, I actually job shadowed here before. And they said, oh yeah, this is the exact job that you job shadowed. So it was a full circle. I learned everything that I could. It was an easier time to get the job because I just learned everything. And I had that kind of insight from it. This is the exact job. So this just the importance of relationships in cybersecurity. I met Alicia in line at DEF CON, and she told me, I said, hey, I'm going to be presenting at SAINTCON. And I said, what would you say is the piece of advice you would like to give? You're not going to find your next job is going to find you. So as I talked to her more, she's apparently this great speaker that goes to a lot of these different conferences to talk about networking and building up your career. As I was trying to go into her background and her career, turns out that one cousin that has been my mentor for a long time, he works with her. So it's just a small world. The cybersecurity world is really small. I wanted to show my quick path and what part is luck, what part's a little hard work, and what part's a little some networking. So it's just going to light up. The first is, Symantec. Yeah, I'll work a little hard, a little bit of networking. Honestly, it's all of it. Really, it's a lot of it of luck, a lot of networking. There's not one main way that you're going to be doing this with networking here. Some suggested actions. Informational interviews are awesome. Reached out via LinkedIn and go to security conferences. They're awesome. So this slide, I practiced presenting with my family and my wife, and they said, I want an example of how to reach out on LinkedIn. So here it is. Somebody was reaching out to me, wanting to know more about cybersecurity. It's pretty simple, just an informational interview. And then this is myself reaching out to one of my mentors about when I first connected with him. And it's really just saying, I'm interested in this. There's no obligation here. I'm not trying to beg or ask for a job. It's really just learning more about the industry that you're in and what do you do. I love helping out people, and especially anybody that feels that they need a little extra help or a little extra push when it comes to cybersecurity. There's really simple ways to do it. Hack number 2, diverse paths. As I talked with all these cyber professionals, there's not one that said you have to do this. So you have to get a cybersecurity major. You have to get that cert. There's so many different avenues of getting into it. From Steve Gentry here, he said, the best piece of advice I can give is own your career path. In other words, don't expect someone else to define your path. But to define the path, I'm just kidding, it's not. This is a really basic one. One of the most difficult things about cybersecurity is that there's so many different avenues you can go. There's compliance, GRC, there's engineering side, the security architecture side, there's the threat vulnerability, the vulnerability management, the red team, blue team. So figure the heck out what excites you. Try these different things. There's so many things and there's a lot of different paths. If you definitely grow your technical skills, there's the security engineering, the network, the SOC, forensics. There's a lot of different spots that you can go. But I think eventually it's just that you're going to be growing in the cybersecurity path that you want to own. And from Troy here, he says, don't try to find the perfect role initially. You need to start somewhere and build experience. So take the experience when you are provided the opportunity. Another diverse path is certificates. And when I talked about this with other people, they said, that's a little controversial, Derek. I said, you don't need to have cybersecurity certificates to get into cybersecurity. I said, that's right, because most people, they think of this when they think of cybersecurity certificates. This is just a little bit of the cybersecurity certs that are out there, and I didn't even take time to look at all of them, but yeah, it's pretty intimidating, and it's a little scary. But for me, it helped me in my own career just to make sure that I got the basics. I personally would suggest these certificates. Security Plus is awesome. The Certified Ethical Hacking, Network Plus. Lots of people don't need to get certifications, but it's the way to build your fundamentals and continue building on what you know and what excites you. So you don't need to do it, but it helped me out. And if anything, if you don't even want to do these certs or like review it, come on, there's YouTube University, y'all. Like, it's time to get everybody. I think if we had a subcategory of what cybersecurity is, it's that we're professional Googlers. Like any profession, just look it up on YouTube. Mike Chappell's an awesome start. Simply Learn. Add yourself to podcasts or playlists. It's really just background noise. You got to be continuing to diversify what you know. Hack number 3, continuous growth. So from Courtney here, she says, transitioning cyber folks, I think, can feel like their newness is a liability. But flip that script and lock onto your past and previous professional experience as your superpower. She goes on to say, you've got a great, unique perspective and may be easy for you to connect with people who aren't in that world of the cyberspace. We're all unique human beings. We all bring a very unique perspective into the cybersecurity world. So build on that. She's talking about the transferable skills, that communication, empathy, leadership, decision-making, and learning how to, my personal favorite is learning how to speak to executives, because I did not know how to talk to a C-suite. You just need to be so blunt and say, this is the actual vulnerability, this is the fix, and they say, approved, like move on, I got other stuff to do. But you got to learn those things. And then a next part about continuous growth, to go off my favorite Disney Channel show, everybody makes mistakes. Y'all, I don't know how many times that I can say that I've been paralyzed with wanting to make a decision, and because I didn't want to make a mistake, it totally just derailed the entire operation. It's okay to make mistakes, but make them early and then learn from them. But I wanted to share a couple of the short mistakes, actually, the mistakes I've made in my very short career so far. Number one is I crashed a network during production hours. You don't have to raise your hand, but I feel like some of you guys have done this too. I did it. It was when I was a college sysadmin, and for the computer science department, they were pinging computers in China. So what do you think happened when when the server crashed when they were pinging servers in China? They thought they were getting hacked. It was not a great time. I had to go in there and talk to my manager. And he said, just don't do it again. I said, I learned how to revert and back up. Don't worry, I got you. I didn't get fired. I had a SQL injection on my first website that crashed the entire thing. So I was just sitting there, I was coding, and my coworker looked at me and said, did you clean your SQL entries? I said, what is that? He came over, did a little JavaScript, crashed the whole thing, and had to start all the way over. But what did I learn about that? I don't want to be a developer. So I spent 8 hours on a call to realize they just needed to turn the system off and on. I'd like to say it was a professional call, but I can't believe that the other person stayed on the line that long trying to help me figure this out. And I went to my manager and I said, hey, this is the problem. Yeah, just restart the server, restart these services. Are you kidding me? It was not fun. My story was after college and before I got my job at Symantec, I interviewed with a notoriously hard company, AWS. This interview was the one that has made me so prepared for my other interviews. It was 6 straight hours of whiteboarding, and how many times I stood up there, it was about probably 30 minutes in total just staring at a whiteboard because I didn't know what to write. Just be prepared for it, but it's okay. You're going to botch them. And there's plenty more to come. I just graduated in 2019, so I feel like I got plenty of more mistakes to be able to share here. But make sure that you ask for feedback and ask your team for help. Asking for help from your team is not a weakness and does not automatically negate your ability, especially in a field where the landscape is consistently shifting. That's from Patty here. Ask help from teammates, mentors, coworkers, feedback. It's all good, especially family. Family will be able to help you out. Hack 4, get up and take action. So these are some of the things that I think that you could do right now, and it's easy. Reach out to someone via LinkedIn, find a mentor, find somebody that is at a spot that you think you want to be in. Everybody wants to help. The cybersecurity community is so helpful because we're all not getting enough sleep, wondering, are we going to get breached the next day? We're all wanting to help out each other. First round is awesome. Talk to someone at this conference. Why did you choose cybersecurity is a really basic question to ask. Project ideas, start studying for the Security Plus certification, play with Wireshark, configure a password manager for the family. I think that's my personal favorite again because even though I'm in cybersecurity, my family is still notoriously bad at password management. I still find the sticky notes. Set up a VPN and Google cybersecurity projects for beginners. That's a great way to start. Lastly, treat yourself. What I'm saying is we like to beat ourselves up in this career. There's a lot of different mistakes that we're going to be making. There's a lot of traps that we're going to be falling into of having that negative mindset. But if you're working on yourself, being nice to yourself and realizing that you have the capacity to be this awesome cybersecurity professional, it's going to happen. It's going to be awesome. And to end here, just Josh Pugmire says, you'll always find yourself a landing place, especially with people who know you to do great work and that you're generally a great person to work with too. These are the quick hacks. Again, it's networking, diverse paths, continuous growth, and just get up and take action. Just take charge of your own career. If they can do it, you can do it. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. So thank you.